The last story in The Bloodied and the Broken is about the burning of David Rothenberg when he was only 6 years old by his own father, by a man who was supposed to protect him. He was burned over 90% of his body. As an adult, he confronted his father, Charles Rothenberg, when Charles Rothenberg was in jail on unrelated charges. There was protective glass blocking them from physical contact. Okay, David recalled, "It was something I've always dreaded, but I knew the time had come for me to confront him and get him out of my life once and for all. I was nervous, but the moment I saw him, I just ripped him to shreds. I beat him up verbally. He had the nerve to keep telling me he loved me. I screamed at him, 'Look at me. You don't love me, you lying son of a..." And, in 30 minutes, I got 14 years of bottled up emotions off my chest. He was shaking as I yelled at him. Was he upset? I hope so. I walked into that jail all stressed out, but as I left, I realized a great weight had been lifted from my shoulders. David elaborated, "I'm getting on with my life, and I never need to see him ever again." Okay. Now, during his adulthood, since reaching adulthood, David has played the role of a burn victim in the soap opera The Bold and the Beautiful and directed music videos. Kevin O'Sullivan wrote in a British magazine called The People, "David drives a Honda Civic, regularly jogs 3 miles, and shares his Los Angeles apartment with his pet dog Josephine. It is difficult for him to tie his shoelaces and button his clothes because his fingers are fused. But he does those things. I am my own man," David said. "I make my own decisions. I'm not an invalid." He has shed the name Rothenberg and calls himself Dave. Okay. In 2005, Charles, having legally changed his name to Charlie Charles, was charged with being a felon in possession of a handgun. Under California's 3 strikes law, he was sentenced to life imprisonment. The sentence allows for the possibility of parole, but it seems improbable a parole board will ever release this notorious habitual offender. Rather, it is likely he will end his life as he has spent so much of it, a pariah, even among prison inmates, a man despised, lonely, isolated, and incarcerated. And I hope you will read this book, The Bloodied and the Broken, by Denise Snow.